Welcome to the Tear Talk Podcast with author, coach, and speaker MaShani Allen. Known as the Golden Scribe, MaShani has over 2 decades of writing experience, and her passion for the craft has given her the opportunity to impart wisdom, affirmation, hope, and confidence into many. Let's listen now as MaShani delves into topics that have impacted her on her Tear Talk journey and helped her discover the power of the pen. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to the Tear Talk Podcast. So glad to have you join us on today. You know, yesterday, while I was getting on the elevator to come home from work, I had a thought. And I was thinking about stewardship. And I know a lot of times when that word is used, for the most part, people think of finances. And that wasn't the mindset that I had when I was thinking of the word stewardship. But my thought process came as a result of conversation as well as a situation. So we'll start with the situation first. I ended up losing my voice last week, and that caused me to be out of work for a week. And that caused me not to be at my job. So yesterday was my first day back, and it was interesting because so many people, first they were concerned about my health, but they also expressed, how much they miss me. They miss my joy, they miss my light, they miss my laughter, they miss my enthusiasm, like all these things that they had missed because I had not been at work. So I was thinking about that. Those technically aren't the requirements for my job, but they are what I would say, especially the joy and the peace and the light that I bring. I consider those to be gifts that come with me in everything that I do. And the day before that, I was having conversation with a young lady who has been like a mentee to me and has become a little sister. And we were catching up on life. We hadn't been able to see each other for pretty much 2 years because of COVID. So we were catching up on life and sharing the different things. It was me and my best friend and her, and sharing the different things that have happened to us, and the blessings and what God has been doing, and how we've been growing and maturing in areas and developing. So it was a really good conversation. And I ended up sharing some stuff with her, and she in turn was sharing with me how she is just so blessed by my faith level and how quickly, and not just how quickly, but how I respond when I get instructions, when I get directives from God. How, she said, you've always been one who has been quick and faithful to respond. And she said, sometimes we get instructions or we get an unction, or, we perceive that we should be doing something, and sometimes we do nothing at all, or, we sit on it. She was like, but for all the time that I've known you, you were just, you hear something, you see something, you receive something, and you just immediately respond. So she was like, I love your level of faith. And over the past few weeks, I've been receiving words, I guess, of affirmation of people saying like these different attributes that I have, how they've been a blessing to them. And like I said, as I was getting on the elevator yesterday, I started to see that as a stewardship. as stewarding. And I don't think that we really consider that there are things that we should cultivate and that we should steward in our lives that don't just benefit us, but they benefit others. Now, y'all already know me and Webster are BFFs. And, when I was looking at the word steward and stewardship, it means the conducting, supervising, or managing of something. And I talked about a healthy hope, and I did a Q&A about, how to get a healthy hope. And I'm beginning to see, understand, and realize that I have been stewarding certain things. And I feel that we have to look at, the way that we are and the things that we offer this world. We have to start looking at it as a stewardship. I steward joy. I steward peace. I steward love. I steward laughter. These are things that I manage. These are things that I conduct and I supervise. I make sure, and it's not a conscious thing, but I'm constantly giving it out. It's like we have these gifts, these graces, these abilities that impact people in so many different ways. And a wise manager and a wise steward understands that this is not just for you. This is something that you are supposed to share. And you're supposed to share it consistently and diligently and freely. Being a light is something that you are to steward. Being positive is something that you are to steward. And I just was thinking about that. It's like, how are we stewarding what some of us consider a part of our character and others may say is a gift, but how do we steward it? Do we hoard it to ourselves? Do we look at someone and we can clearly see that they need a smile or they need something positive, and that is literally who we are, but do we sit in silence and just let them be in that moment by themselves? Do we, just say like a good morning, how are you? I mean, even to complete strangers, you just never know, how this can impact people, how this can bless people, because everyone is dealing with something. And a lot of times we assume it's the big things that people need, when in reality, it's the small stuff that matters. Oh my goodness. I just wanted to share that we really have to look at the gift and the treasure that we are and feel free to and be willing to share that with others. So as I was thinking of the young lady and just the different conversations that I have literally been having over the past few weeks, I have come to understand that I have, and it's not something that I was taught or something that I read or something that was shared with me, but somehow I have groomed and disciplined myself to constantly be in remembrance of certain things. Because one of the main things that she talked about and what has been spoken of me over the last few weeks is my hope and my faith and the diligence between the two. And I have been one who, and I'm so happy now, because a lot of things that I had written was only in my journals. But now I have a lot of things that are electronic. And it's funny because yesterday I was I've been updating because some of you have been following me for quite some time know that I have different types of journals. So I was updating one type of journal to only discover I have another type of journal that needed to be updated. And I have what I call my downloads. I think it's downloads and dreams journal. And for me, downloads are like statements, words of wisdom, nuggets, biblical insight, revelation, understanding, ideas, strategies, all of that I consider to be downloads. And I actually send myself a lot of text messages. Like literally when I get an idea, when something happens, even when I'm having conversations with people, if I say something that I know is a nugget of wisdom, I will text myself in a heartbeat in the middle of a conversation. But even if I'm talking to a person and they say something that I consider meaningful or powerful or moving, I'll send myself a text message. So I had someone ask me about a process that I'm in right now. And I went looking through my text messages to give them the time frame of when it happened. And in doing so, I realized that I had some nuggets in my phone that I didn't have on my download sheet. So I was like, this need to be in two places. It don't just need to be in my phone, because what I have found lately is that when I'm having a conversation with someone, and I am reminded of a dream, of a promise, of a word, of a verse, of a download that I received, I will, in the middle of the conversation, go to my phone, go to my notes, pull it up, and read it to them in that moment. Because for me, there's a reason why I'm being reminded of this. So let me add this to the conversation. But now I realize, because I've been sharing a lot of things that have been given to me that I don't normally share, I've been sharing them with other people. And I'm realizing now that it is causing my stewardship of those promises, my stewardship of those words to be heightened, because I'm repeating what has been said. And in repeating what has been said, that is increasing my hope, that is increasing my faith. But it is not only doing that for me, it's also doing that for those that I share with. So when I'm smiling, when I'm laughing, and all four floors of the administrative building where I work can hear my laughter, that's not just doing something for me and the person I'm laughing with at the moment. I've had people come and say, I heard you laughing on the third floor and that just made me smile. That just brought something to my day. And me being willing to cultivate just joy and laughter and, just freedom and not being uptight and, just finding joy in the simple things and be willing to express it through laughter. And, that is a beautiful thing. And it's the way I laugh so freely is a result of me stewarding joy for years. You can't make that up. I mean, actors and stuff, you can just do that on a dime, but people can hear when that joy and that laughter and that expression is just pure and it's genuine and it's powerful and it's moving and it's changing. But that people can also feel and sense that this is something that has been cultivated over time. So I just want to encourage you today to look at what is in your storehouse, what is in the treasure chest that's on the inside of you, and begin to steward even the more. Like another one of my gifts is like, let something happen to one of my friends that's good. Look, I'm cheerleading. I am telling the story. I am breaking it down. I am blowing it, out the water, just being proud and, congratulatory. I'm making sure we ain't missing no parts of this story. I'm making sure all the glory is going to God. I purposely do that. I do these things on purpose, and there is such a grace and there is such a power when you begin to steward well the parts of you that other people need. Now, I can honestly say, even though there are aspects of me that I steward well, there have also been times when I allowed those parts of me to go quiet. And for instance, and I've shared with you all before, two things. There was a season when I didn't journal, and there was a season when I wasn't talking, where I wasn't speaking, where I wasn't expressing myself. And some people will say, that's not a big deal. That's okay. But do you know, I have honestly had on more than one occasion people tell me how they had been waiting for me, even in my silence. They were still waiting. They were waiting for me to come back. They were waiting for me to speak again. Like some have now discovered that I'm starting back doing Bible studies and doing teaching. And it is a blessing to know that you have been able to be impactful to a degree that even when you go silent, people are still in expectation of when you awaken or arise. And for some of you who are listening, because I know that this was the case for me, I needed that time. I would not allow anyone to rush me out of that time. And I am so thankful that I took that time when I did, because now the things that I do, they come from a healed place and not a broken place. Now, as I'm talking about, stewarding joy and hope and peace, and this, it's a whole list of things. I'm not trying to convey that this is something that you need to be doing outside of yourself. Like if you're not feeling it, sometimes you do have to do it for the greater good. But I'm not telling you to become an actor or an actress in life. There will be days when that day is not the day. And that is okay. I'm not it's interesting. My brother, we've been talking more and more of late, and he has come to find that I'm literally like this. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, but this is who I am. But if there's a day when I'm not, like the first time I wasn't like on 1,000 on the phone, he was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm tired." And it was okay. So I'm not saying you have to be like on quote unquote 24/7. But what I am saying is when you have it in your ability to give and to be your genuine self, and your genuine self is a blessing, is a treasure, is a gift to others, do that more times than not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying to fake it, because fake ain't good. I'm saying to be genuine. And in your being genuine, the more you do it, the easier it is to do it, because it becomes a part of who you are. Like, I can honestly say just about every job I've ever had, someone has given me the nickname Sunshine. But it's been from Florida to Chicago to California, every single place. Someone has named me Sunshine, but that's me. But even everyone who's listening, there is some quality, attribute, characteristic about you that stands out more than others, or there may be multiple ones. Steward that and steward it well. Be the manager of it. Cultivate it, however that may be. And know that there is something that not only comes to you, but there is definitely something that others need from you in moments, in times that you may think are insignificant, that could mean the world to them. So steward and steward well. And I pray that the next time that a Tear Talk podcast is posted, that you decide to press play.
Thank you for joining the Tear Talk podcast. You can purchase today's featured t-shirt and learn more about MaShani by visiting MaShaniAllen.com. Also, check out her exclusive line of custom journals at bit.ly/The Golden Scribe.